Alright, welcome back to section 4. So in this section, we're going to focus on Django forms and user interaction. We're going to go from admin to user interaction. Before now, the current limitation of the platform or your website or the mini microblog we're working on is that for posts to be available on your website, you have to create it yourself, either through the admin panel or through your Python code. You had or needed to create this. However, we might want to enable users to submit comments, maybe submit posts directly from your website. How do we actually handle this? That introduces us to Django Forms. It's a secure, powerful way to handle user inputs and add content to your website. Now, the power of Django Forms handle HTML form creation, validation, processing. They protect against common vulnerabilities like SQL injection and cross-site scripting. The necessity or the importance of Django Forms is that they help in form creation. They don't just help in this form creation, but they help to validate it and also to process it. So the common issues such as the common attacks such as SQL injection, where hackers or some of these people out there, they send in SQL code through your form so that they can perform SQL operations within your database. Imagine when a hacker or malicious user sends in an SQL code to your database. So it's going to do serious damage inside of there. So this is one of the things that Django Forms actually solve. It helps prevent such stuff. It normalizes such data such that even if you send in an SQL code, it's going to treat it as a normal text. So it's like the club bouncer, right? Such that it checks everyone's ID and validates it against the database to ensure that this is actually what's required of the database. So the user and then the form validates it before it passes it to the database. So we're going to get right into code and we're going to create our first form. So get back to your PyCharm project. In your Pages app, I would want you to create a file, call it forms.py. Now remember we had a class already for our model. So we're going to have our post form. And then we're going to inherit forms.model forms. And we're going to forms forms.model form. So we import these forms from Django Forms. Right. So the next thing what to do, this model form is a kind of form class from these forms that actually works directly with the fields in your model. It makes a direct comparison of what's required of your model and then ensures that each field passed from the user side are validated against the data type required. So the next thing I want to do is to tell this which model it is actually going to work with. So when I define post, it tells it that I'm working with the post model. So I import that into my current file. The next thing to do is to define the fields that I would want to collect from the user. And in my case, I would prefer to collect the title and the ID alone. So with this, we have our post form ready. So this is literally how to create your form. And this Django makes it so beautiful that it actually helps you to also render this in an HTML format. It does all the validation and all of that, and also renders it in an HTML format. So we're going to look at that shortly. Also, to reiterate, they were not focused on the front-end aesthetics of the project because this is not the core purpose of the course. The core purpose of this course is solely to learn backend development. And that is what we're doing. Right now, we'll proceed. Having created this form, the next thing now is to actually collect forms from the user or collect inputs from the user, right? So I would like us to have an HTML page or an HTML file. Call it create post. Right, so get snippet from a sample code. Right, so but before then, okay, let's just iterate on that afresh for a better understanding. Right, so having created your forms, okay, you go on and have a quick quiz and then get right back.